Hey guys. So my first at random pick um, spread reading message for the name I chose is Kristine. So if your name's Kristine or any of those sounds common, like Krystal, Chrissy, Kristin, there might be a message here for you. So let's begin. Um, yes. Okay. Before starting, so I already decided where, and it could change, but I'm gonna start with a rune and see. So for Chrissy, Kristine, Kristin, Krystal, any of those sounds. Ride ho, ride ho. All right, I'm just gonna read to you the meaning from the book. Came with this one. Ride ho. Forgive me if I'm pronouncing that wrong. I'm pretty sure it's ride ho, ride ho. It's all about the journey and the road. Like the journey on the road, any sense of travel. And it actually came up right. So the journey, communication, union, and reunion. This rune is concerned with communication, with the attunement of something that has two sides, two elements, and with the ultimate union that comes at the end of the journey, when what is above and what is below are united and of one mind. Inner worth mounts here, and at such a time you are not intended to rely entirely upon your own power. Instead, ask what constitutes right action. Ask through prayer or meditation, through addressing the witness self, the teacher within. Once you are clear, you can neutralize your refusal to let right action flow through you. Not intent on movement, be content to wait. While you wait, keep on removing resistances. As the obstructions give way, all remorse arising from trying to make things happen disappears. The journey is towards self-healing, self-change, and union. You are concerned here with nothing less than unobstructed perfect union. But the union of heaven and earth cannot be forced. Regulate any excesses in your life. Material advantages must not weigh heavily on this journey of the self toward the self. Stand apart even from like-minded others. The notion of strength in numbers does not apply at such a time. For this part of the journey, the soul's journey, cannot be shared. Another of the cycle runes, Reido, carries within its form the rune of joy. For now, the end is in sight. You are no longer burdened by what you've left behind. Heaven above you and earth below you unite within you to support you on your way. A simple prayer for the soul's journey is, I will to will thy will. Such a prayer of intention is proper on any occasion and is particularly appropriate as a preamble to healing. Right ho. It's a beautiful message, actually. It's really appropriate right now, given like how important the union is between divine feminine, divine masculine, but the journey that we each must go through individually before we actually come into that full union phase. And just the simple fact that, you know, regardless of like how many out there are going through very similar experiences, it's a process that each individual needs to go through on our own. So know that you're not alone, but know that you need to go through this on your own. That's where the strength is going to come from. So hopefully there's something there that resonates for you. I'm totally feeling the Mayan oracle as well. Don't mind my headset. I think it's really annoying when you're watching a YouTube video and the mouth is totally off from the words. If anybody's ever noticed that, but this should actually be combating that until I can upgrade myself a little microphone. All right. Ooh. Oh, nice. Okay, is that the one you want? Very cool. We got obsidian knife. Obsidian knife. So, anybody who's familiar with like the concept of cutting cords, obsidian knife would be a tool that could definitely be useful, or that would be an asset for if you were wanting to do such a thing. It's a very powerful process and definitely something that requires really taking time to sit with it, right? Because when you cut cords, like you're breaking that bond, but also keeping in mind too that if it is a destined bond, it will come back. Like the cord will naturally reattach itself. Obsidian knife. Severance. This, then, is the dark book of the beginning. The time is now, and a great storm is gathering on the spiritual plains. Lightning shatters the blue-black sky like a dark egg cracking open, and a brilliant light comes spilling out of it. Next comes thunder. Knives clash. The icy winds blow. Wind and rain swirl in the night. Pages rustle and stir. In the book of days, the ancient book of prophecies. The pages flip quickly and open to the eighth sky. These leaves too are torn away, scatter, and are lost in the howling wind. Now, in the ninth sky, there are twisted people wielding twisted flint knives. Their spirits have been mutilated. Beware of these beautiful twisted ones. There are many. With convoluted speech, they will twist every situation. They will manipulate you. Stabbing with twisted knives, they will force you onto paths you were never meant to tread. They can only lead you to the land of the terrible feathered knives, where they will lock you in a maze of cold and cutting flint. But there is another kind of knife. Black the knife, red the cut, obsidian the edge. Wisdom dwells in the land of no flesh. An obsidian knife teaches about the spirit world. In fact, most religions teach of the sacrifice. The human family tells many stories holding for and against sacrificial doctrines. Wars were fought over bloodletting and ritual sacrifice. Most modern-day rituals and ceremonies have an acknowledgement of sacrifice latent within them. The ancient scholars believed that without maintaining a subtle balance of sacrifice, our world would go to ruin. There is a true path of the knife. The obsidian knife blade represents shadow. and the cut represents light. At the heart of this ritual object is the cutting away of illusion. Metaphysically, a severance is also a joining at this meeting place of light and shadow. On the path of the obsidian knife, no one can carry a burden. No one can walk with you. You may bear neither left nor right. The cutting edge does not allow for mistakes. One must use this holy knife in a strict, correct, impeccable way. The sharp edge of the blade means understanding. To stay on the path, you must keep balanced. On your walk along the edge, you must place one foot before the other. You must be sure of to have perfect equilibrium. There cannot be the slightest error. The great initiates of the past treaded this same precious bridge across the knife's blade. Obsidian knife is a drastic metaphor. Obsidian knife speaks of the realization as a form of death. When you realize a spiritual truth, you lose a lie. Your false belief is cut away. The ritual knife is used to cut away illusion. On the path of the obsidian blade, one must be fully awake. All great religions, traditions teach that in order to have life, we must also lose it. This is the teaching of obsidian knife. Obsidian knife speaks of realization as a form of death. This kind of awakening is often a very painful process. Look at what you need to remove from your life. Drop it in eagle bowl and send it upward as a present to the sun. If you have drawn obsidian knife card, be careful of injurious, cutting remarks. Obsidian knife can be a warning about some problem that should be dealt with immediately. Quit procrastinating. Stay away from cutting people in any kind of verbal fencing. If not, you may even get stabbed in the back or have some very unpleasant exchange. The cut can be so sharp and deep you may not even realize you have been wounded. Then the pain hits and the cold, shocking truth is realized. If you have inadvertently find yourself in the house of razors, you must cut a deal with the slicing blades. No other choice. You must promise to give the blade its victim. It is either you or another, because someone must pay the blade. Let the holy knife show you what changes must be made. Obsidian knife is an extension of your will to be used to restore balance following a traumatic incident. Obsidian knife is the knife of fate and may require spiritual submission and forgiveness for those who have hurt you. It may require a new openness and vulnerability. Address your avoidance issues. Make friends with the plant people, food plants, plants of beauty, trees, and medicine plants. Simplify your life and avoid excess. Spend some night hours cutting away from noise. Turn your gaze heavenward to the shimmering silence of the starry river. Obsidian knife card tells you to keep appointments, especially dental appointments. Sharpen kitchen knives or scissors, your senses and your wit. Visit a barber or beauty shop. The card bodes well for minor surgery. No longer can you live in denial. Face difficult problems. First, introspect and find exactly what you need to do. Let obsidian knife protect you from evil or psychic attack. Use it to ward off negativity and banish powers that are inimical to you, your family, or friends. Lastly, consider this teaching of the obsidian knife. If you are going to use it, cut quickly and be in perfect accord with what you are doing. Once done, it cannot be undone. Thank the knife and bless it for its power. The precious knife must then be cleansed with obsidian knife water, run through copal smoke, wrapped in red cloth, and put away for safekeeping until needed. That's a very powerful metaphor, actually. I'm getting a heavy feeling right now that And I just want to stress, by no means is like some of this stuff ever to be taken literally, right? Um, Sometimes we really lose touch with ourselves, get caught up on a path, like mentioned here, that maybe necessarily wasn't our own. Um, this life is definitely a trip in many, many ways. I can speak from personal experience. I've strayed well off path more than once. And I don't regret it. I don't regret anything. I actually am proud to say I don't really hold any hard feelings either. I refer to moments like that when we get really far off our paths and end up in situations we never would have thought. I call it death and the great humbling. It's pretty powerful when you can get to such an amazing, strong, healthy point in your life and then just crash right down and think like you'd never go through anything like that again. But it's really, really humbling, because it's just a reminder that this life and the journey is really powerful, and the dark and the light are of equivalence. I love my quote, our demons are just angels that we took our love away from. And I think like what's, with Obsidian Knife, it's kind of like a moment that you might be finding yourself in where it's like a wake-up call. Time to realize and remember yourself and start taking care of number one, who's most important, right? Yes, like if we have children or family and stuff, like absolutely. We can't forget though that what good are we to them unless we're good to ourselves. So if everybody actually literally just took the time to face their own shadows and admit their own faults and recognize the parts that they play in the situations that occur in their life. I mean, if it's happening in your life, there's something for you there and you are a part of it. It's not, it's not to be blamed, right? But rather acknowledged, accepted, integrate the wisdom and carry it with you. Don't let it go. Don't let those lessons go, because then we repeat the same cycle until we get it, even if it's over and over and over again. Getting busy. Getting dizzy. No, but it's really interesting, because in so many ways we're actually taught or conditioned to like externalize everything from ourselves, and rather like I remember always hearing like, oh, it's this and it's that and it's this and it's that, and there's like always looking for one point or one person or one group or whatever to blame something on. It's never just one thing. There's always so many details that come together to get something to whatever point of extreme or breaking point that it may be at. But that's the process of reflection and growth, integrating the message, Yeah, Obsidian Knife, that was pretty powerful. I think that went really well with Ride Ho. Cool. I'm going to actually do, I got a new deck for my birthday from a very beautiful lady in my life. It's the Literary Witch's Oracle. Yes, she knows me. It's pretty cute. It's absolutely gorgeous. I love it. So, Kristine, Chrissy, Kristin, Krystal, or just, anybody who stumbled across this message, and maybe there's something here for you. Ultimately, that's what I'm going for. I just want to inspire growth and positive movement for anyone and everyone who comes into my path. Oh, cool. I'll take them. I'll go. Oh no. Okay then. One more. Oh, I think that was it. Sweet. What do we got here? The moon, the cauldron, and the peacock. I love it. Like, sort of the moon and the cauldron. We're having a full moon on Halloween this year. That's nuts. And it's also a blue moon. It's going to be powerful. Very powerful. The moon is often symbolic of things unseen, or things in the dark, hidden from us. The cauldron is to me, it's symbolic of bringing things together for a specific purpose. Okay. I just got a rad little message. And what I got from the peacock just now was stating the obvious and just parade of the obvious. So what I'm getting from this intuitively is that which we think is hidden has really been something that's been in our face the whole time. And it was basically all the little details coming together. It was all brought together for a very specific purpose for us to see something that we just a shitty repetitive cycle in our lives that we have yet to really get the lesson of. It's going to be in our face, and it's all been constructed this way just for that reason, so that we can finally see the light of it, and see it in the light, and the light of it. The fact that being able to transmute it, even if it seems really heavy, and just you basically feel like you were totally fucked with. It was never intended to be that way. It was all for our growth, and just to really drive the point home so that we could move on and actually make light of a dark situation, or a lesson that we just refused to see for the longest time. So that's intuitively, I am going to see what keywords this little guidebook that came with the card says. The peacock keywords are splendor, the divine, and craving. And the moon is surrender, mystery, looming change. And the cauldron, creativity, the rich broth, and surprising yourself. Creatively surprising yourself. craving the divine and splendor and looming change, mystery, and surrender. Nice. It's almost like we're finally giving in to our true path, or you're finally giving into your true path and that connection that you have so naturally with source, the divine, you know, that spiritual side, and just surrendering to it, getting on path. Cool. I think that was pretty awesome the way that all just came together. Because, you know, sometimes before we can rise to the top, we got to hit the bottom and realize like what's no longer serving us, restore balance in our lives, and honor in our journey. You know, we all came here with purpose and mission that many of us have forgotten. So, and what I'm getting from this overall is that, you know, you're going to come into reconnecting with your mission and ultimately your trust in yourself and the divine, that or whatever resonates for you when it comes to that spiritual, beyond what the eyes will allow us to see, you know, until we learn to open up the third one, right? So beautiful. I'm going to just do one energy. I think the secret language of light. If anyone watched the last video, I was kind of forgetting the name of this deck, but beautiful cards. Nourish. Perfect. Absolutely. 23 comes to a 5. 5 is like the core, you know, but also the conflict before the harmony, the chaos, the storm kind of thing. But it's also the core of the matter, because then we can come and move into that harmonization. But the nourishment is ultimately where it's at. That's what you're needing to do right now for yourself, is just take care of yourself, restore your balance, nourishment, mind, body, soul. It's a time of healing, and we're in such a beautiful, powerful time right now. There's a lot of energy, you know, and the veil is like getting thinner and thinner by the day. So it's definitely a perfect opportunity to really start connecting with your ancestors, your guides, you know, getting clear, hydrated, hydration, get some alkaline water, you know, like fluoride free, and then some mineral water, whatever. Just get lots of water in you, because ultimately that is a very precious gift that we have an abundant access to. You know, we are so rich here in that regards. Yeah, lots of fresh fruit, like lots of fresh vegetables. I mean, it's not really the time for fruits, you know, like ultimately if we eat with the earth, how our native people were doing, and you know what we need to like return to, right? That's respect of the earth, and you know, she nourishes us, Mother Gaia. Anyways, okay, that kind of yelled. I'm just gonna take a peek here and see. Intuitively, I'm getting, just be mindful of who you're allowing into your space, right now. If you feel any inkling of doubt about someone, you know, just gently ask them to go away. That was kind of what I got there. Just like be mindful, pay attention, because not everybody is as they seem. Okay, and the keywords with that one, it was the eel. What lurks? Electricity and dishonesty. So electricity, I mean, you look at, we are electrically charged in a lot of ways, right? And even electricity, like I had to download, this was a few years ago, but I mean, when we're not using something, to unplug it kind of thing, because it's still got that current running through it. So just being mindful of that regard. But I mean, I'm getting this from like a person that you're gonna like electrically feel when something is off, and just somebody's not being dishonest with you, or just not there for your good. And it's like a lurking that's just there to make things difficult or to harm you. So protect yourself. I'm gonna do a specific protection, energy, whatever you want to call it, some work, a lit candle for ya. Send some your way. Okay, remember, you are loved, you are necessary, you're part of the crew. Gotta be safe. Okay, sending good stuff your way. Love, light, strength. We'll see you later.